Hello and welcome to this Digital Camera Magazine video tutorial. In this lesson we're going to take a look at how to create an infrared style image from your colour digital photographs. Now before we start we're going to just make a quick duplicate of our background layer, and we can do this by just right clicking on the background layer and selecting duplicate layer. That'll bring up the layers dialog. Just click OK and you'll see another layer appear in the layers palette called background copy. Exactly the same as your original image, but it's just an extra layer on top. Now the first stage of creating your infrared image is just to kick out some of those highlights, and we're going to use an adjustment levels layer to do this. So if you go down to your adjustment layers, up to levels, and you'll see the levels dialog window open. In the inputs levels we want to enter 0, 1.65 and 235, and you'll see that's just increased the highlights within the image. So happy with that, just click OK, and then if we hold down Ctrl E or Apple E, that'll just merge the selected top layer with the layer that's directly beneath. Once we've done that, we want to select the sky area, and we're going to just darken that up slightly so it'll replicate the effect of an infrared image. To do that, we go up to Image, Adjustment and Replace Color. And we'll see a little preview of the lighthouse here. If we just use the first color picker just to select the darkest area of the sky, and then we're going to use the Add to Selection color picker, which is the pipette with the small little plus sign, and we're just going to click a little bit further down in the sky, and we can see that now the whole of the sky area is selected. Next to the fuzziness slider, we're just going to bring that back. So really the only area that's selected within the image is the sky area, and we've also got a little bit selected within the top of the lighthouse window. What we want to do now is just to reduce the lightness of that area and just darken it right down, so replicating the infrared. We're going to take this down to about -40. Normal skies will have to be taken a lot further than that because they won't be as dark. When you're happy with that, just take a quick look and click OK. Now that we've done that, we want to take away all of the colour, so we're going to use a Hue Saturation adjustment layer just to reduce the saturation right down to -100. And now we've got quite a contrasty black and white image. Just click OK and we can apply that to the image, and we're just going to correct that and sort of blast out those tones a little bit more by just going back to the adjustment layers and levels. And this time in the input levels we're going to enter 0, 1.65 and take the last input level right down to about 180 and click OK. And you can see that's completely blasted out all of the highlight detail within the image, and the foreground's a little bit over light, but we should be able to get away with that. Okay. Now we want to merge those three layers down, so if we just make sure that levels 1 is selected, hold down Shift and click on background copy, and then Ctrl E or Apple E, and that'll merge those three layers down together. Next thing we want to do is just to make another copy of that layer, so that's called levels 1. If we just right click and go duplicate layer, just as we did with the background layer, and we can see our new layer appear in the layers palette. Next thing we want to do is just to add a diffuse glow to our picture. So if we go up to filter and distort and diffuse glow, which is our top option, and that'll bring up the diffuse glow preview window. Now because the preview will show it at 100%, so you can really see what's going on within the image. Unfortunately we can't actually see what's going on with the lighthouse, so we're just going to take that down to 50%, and we've got a much better idea of what's going on. So if we just have a quick look at that, what we want to do is have a graininess of about 10, a glow amount of about 14, which will really sort of get that infrared glow going, and a clear amount right down to about 3, and that just softens up the sort of darker areas of the picture. If you increase that, you'll see the details and the darkness tonal range is coming back. So we'll take that down to about 3. Once we're happy with our diffuse glow, we just click OK, and we can see that that's almost completely washed out the image. So we're going to use a blending mode just to merge that with our levels 1 layer. So to do that, go up to your blending mode, which is by default set to normal, and we'll go down to pin light, and we'll instantly see the effect that that has. Unfortunately, diffuse glow layer is still just reducing any detail of the image, so we need to reduce its opacity in the opacity window, and just click that down to about 40, and now we can see some of that detail re-emerging from the image. The next stage is just to really get that blurry whiteness that you get from the infrared film. So to do this, we're just going to go up to select and color range, and if we select the lighter areas of the image and click OK, then we're going to go down to our layers or new layer and just click the new layer icon. Go over to our color swatches and just select white, and go up to edit to fill, and we'll fill that with foreground color and click OK, and that just fills our selected area with 100% white. Now what we're going to do is just blur that so that we're getting the real sort of glow, infrared glow effect. Firstly, we need to deselect our recently added white area, so go Control D to deselect the ants, and now we're going to apply quite a harsh Gaussian blur to that. So go to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian Blur, and we want to take that right up so that it almost completely blurs out, but we've got that very soft feeling through that white layer, that white fill layer. So we've taken that up to about 15 pixels, and you can see it really blurring out around the lighthouse there. And if we just click OK, and that's now applied that blur or that extra glow to the image. Now what we need to do is to add a little bit of grain to that blur. So if we go back up to Filter, Noise, Add Noise, we're going to apply Gaussian Noise because it's a little bit more random than uniform, and also make sure that you've got monochromatic radio button ticked, otherwise you're going to start to introduce color noise back into the image. About 12.5% seems to be okay for this image, so we just click OK, and that's applied that sort of grainy feel back into the image. Now at the moment it's all looking a little bit overly washed out, so again we're going to go to our layer blending modes, and this time we're going to choose linear dodge from our selection, and again reduce the opacity of that right down to 40%, and again you can start to see the detail coming back in the foreground. Okay, now what we need to do is just to merge the top layer with the secondary layer that we made. In the final stage, it's quite a good idea just to zoom into your image, select the eraser tool, make sure that you've got a moderately large brush, and you reduce the opacity probably down to about 20%, and then you can use that on your image just to pull back some of the details and really give that sort of very punchy infrared look. Okay, that's quite a long process, and with every image it does take an awful lot of playing around to get everything absolutely correct, but the results of it can be absolutely stunning.